Welcome to Scorched Death and a general reading for the sign of Scorpio, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the month of August. I hope you are well. Using the Pagan Otherworlds Tarot for you today. So I want to apologise for being late in uploading these, or rather thank you for waiting for me. My schedule got knocked all out of whack by needing to complete the 6-month overviews for each of the signs, and it sort of had a knock-on effect, but they are all now done. And if you are interested in those, obviously they run from December to January. The noise outside is excruciating to me, I'm not even going to lie. July to December. It's the second link in the description box. The first link will be the extended that is available to this reading if it resonates with you and you want to go a little bit deeper. So yes, thank you for waiting for me. I appreciate it. Let's get you some cards. Tell me about Scorpio, please. Oh, we've got two. We've got the King of Swords and we've got the Six of Cups in your recent past. I like that. It's actually a combination that Taurus has just come up with too in their extended, and Taurus and Scorpio are opposites on the zodiac, so I'm not really surprised to see the energy working on you in the same way. Tell me about current energy, please, for Scorpio. Thank you. We have the King of Cups. There you are. That's fantastic. And what's coming towards Scorpio, please, in August? We have the Queen of Wands. Ooh, I like this, Scorpio, and I like it because I know I've been speaking at length to all of the other signs about how Leo and also Scorpio, to a degree Aquarius as well, have not really been very much here over the last few months. We're very much consumed with processes that have been going on internally, such that interaction with 3D stuff has almost taken on a kind of autopilot kind of behavior. Gemini 2 is now kind of sinking into that. But it looks to me like you're about to start peeking your head out, Scorpio, and this is important. It's really, really good. We've got the Six of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, a card that deals specifically with balance and alignment. And what I really like about the Pagan Otherworlds is that we don't have this notion of the deserving poor. We do not have someone in a position of power, wealth, authority deciding which one of these poor people deserves to have a coin out of his obviously very laden bag. What we've got are actually no characters at all. We have no other characters involved in this. We just have the process of stacking one's pentacles. And when you see energetic pentacles as energetic currency in the way that I do, it does feel a lot like you are building up your reserves of energy, love, effort, you know, everything that you're capable of investing. You're stacking it up for yourself, for you to draw upon. It's bringing balance to your situation, but it's also bringing growth, Scorpio. There's that Leo card of strength right underneath there, and that is spiritual growth, emotional evolution almost, but it is that strength and resilience that comes from not having survived all of the things that you come through. But you know, kudos to you for that too. But undertaking the act of processing it too, putting it in the right place in your head, taking the wisdom from the situation. And yes, you may be a little battle scarred and tatty-eared and whatnot, but you are here and you are wise nonetheless. And it feels like this energy that you've been in of being elsewhere. Mentioned last month about a Scorpio friend of mine who just said she sort of flopped down into the garden. It's just, I'm too intense for myself. Which I just thought was brilliant. It was just the best thing I'd ever heard coming from Scorpio particularly. Like it was just excellent. It feels like there's a break coming in that energy for you, Scorpio, and I think that you're fucking ready for it, because this sort of stuff's tiring and you cannot do it full time, but you kind of have been for a little while now, and it's time to emerge from that energy. It's time to come back to the 3D a little bit. It's time to turn the autopilot off, because there have been some significant changes that have been occurring within you, and it's time to start exercising this new version of Scorpio out in the world, out in the 3D. Let's get some clarifiers. Tell me about the King of Swords and the Six of Cups, please. Thank you. What do we have here? We have the Seven of Wands in reverse. I like that. Give me another couple of cards, please, for Scorpio. Whoa, thank you very much. Thank you. Chariot and the Three of Swords. These are very similar to the cards that Taurus got too. This axis of Taurus and Scorpio, clearly there's been an energy that's working on you in very much a similar way. Tell me about the King of Cups, please. Oh, thank you. We have the Five of Pentacles and we have the Star. Tell me about the Queen of Wands. We have the King of Wands. Ooh. And Justice. Oh my God. Scorpio. I'm getting goosebumps. Like, and I don't just get them like on my arms. They start at my ankles and they roll up my body and go right at the back of my neck and over my scalp. It's like, it's a bit much. A little bit too intense for myself. Yeah. There's been so much going on, and because of your ability to be able to navigate depths in a way that others can't, right? It's going to have been very, very intense for quite a long time. But I wonder if you truly understand the extent to which you have been battling demons inside of you. I think that you probably do, because you're Scorpio. But it looks to me very much like whatever demons needed facing down for you, and there they are. All of that energy that required you to turn it within to go looking for these demons, it feels like it's ending now, right? We've got somebody coming up, emerging out of the cave, and yes, they've got some shit on their back, but they're very close to the end, and at the top where this light is coming through, they're going to be able to put it down, right? And then look see what they excavated out there. But more importantly, particularly given the way that the wands are showing up here in August for you, and we've got the wands here as well. The wand suit is all about living. It's all about experience. It's all about what you're doing in the here and now. And like I said, it feels like you're turning the autopilot off now. You're like, hello, right, I'm back. I'm ready to start engaging with things again in a really meaningful way. Because you don't like to do things if they're not in a meaningful way. Like it just feels shallow and awful to you. But you've been distracted. You've been very busy, and fuck, it looks like you've been doing a lot of things. So in your recent past, we have the King of Swords and we have the Six of Cups. And I like this. The Six of Cups is a Scorpio card. And it talks about the past. Sometimes it can talk about that very nostalgic kind of perspective that we may have had on times gone by. But because you're Scorpio, I'm not sure that there is much that you are nostalgic for. Right? And I'm alluding at this point to, the challenges and the ways that in which you have suffered over your life. But this King of Cups that's coming out here, King of Cups, King of Swords, who is out here with this Six of Cups, I feel is a really, really helpful energy for you, because it is that energy of compassionate detachment, right? It is that energy of making really judicious decisions about things. It's a very conscious card. Where I feel like the King of Cups is often dealing with the realm of the subconscious, the King of Swords is that very conscious processing of that which we have learned over here. And it's clarified by the Seven of Wands in reverse, the Chariot and the Three it it feels like you've gone exploring. And this is why I say, I feel like for you, as was not the case for Taurus, like Taurus wasn't quite sure of what they were dealing with, like they had not perceived the edges of what it was. But because you are Scorpio, and because you go so deep with things, I feel like you have discovered the edges of things. And I think you've discovered things in this conscious looking for them that you had kind of perhaps intuited. You knew they were there. You knew roughly what the shape of them was. You may even know, you know, the face or the demon that you were going to look at. But it's been in the actual journey itself that all of those details have become very sharp to you. And the King of Swords says that you were almost mentally ready for battle with that. Like, I've got a rough idea of what it is that I'm going to face, and so I'm going to go do it. You know, he's got a bear skin on his head. Obviously, as a vegan, I'm appalled already by this. It's like he's saddled up in his armor. He's got his sword, and he's like, "I'm good. I'm going to go and slay whatever this thing is, because I'll be fucked if I'm going to keep having it knittering away at me, keeping me trapped, making me live in a state of fear. It's not happening anymore. I want release from this. I want my peace." And I hear that very, very strongly for you, Scorpio, because with the level of intensity that you can experience, it doesn't matter if there's shit all going on outside of you. What's going on inside is more than enough to make up for it, and it's the internal peace that you are looking for rather than the external peace. Now obviously the external world being a reflection of our internal, when you deal with this, what's going on out there doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter at all. The Seven of Wands is losing the guardedness, it's losing the defensiveness. It feels actually like it was the first step towards achieving vulnerability. And that's important, and something that's absolute anathema to most Scorpios. Like, why would I do that? And we've spoken at length about the ways in which the armor of the Scorpion is formed, you know, how it is forged in early childhood, and how your guardedness has been survival instinct, and it's seen you through a lot of things. But just as the Scorpion, I'm assuming, because it's an arachnid, sheds its skin in order to grow, I'm assuming that, but I don't actually know much about the biology of scorpions, to be fair. I just know that there are things, you know, you've found that the armor that you forged for yourself has become very, very restricted, and it needs to be let go. It needs to, you know, shuffle on out of there. I'm so Googling this when I finish this reading. Because you can't have peace when you're too big for the armor that you're in. Right? There's always an itch. There's always something that's pinching somewhere. There's no comfort there. And it's been an extraordinary act of pushing yourself out of your comfort zone to look for peace. When you are a sign that in its basic form is designed for war, you know. But this is where the growth has come for you. Now, in terms of what you have gone within and found, it's that you don't actually need these. You are strong. You are powerful. This position of armoring yourself has come from a place of fear, because that armor was forged when you were not strong enough to be able to deal with these things yourself, when you needed when you should have been cared for and looked after, and that was entirely absent from the discourse. So it's an understanding of your own power that leads to a realization that you don't need to armor yourself up to the teeth to be able to deal with life. There's also an understanding that peace does not come, like I said, when the armor's pinching all over and your kind of face is kind of squashed up like this, you know? It's deeply uncomfortable. But where you have been with this Chariot card here is a place that ultimately does lead, will lead, may have already led to a connection to your power in a way that you have not experienced it before. The Chariot card for me does talk about shadow work, because we've got these, you know, these polarities indicated by the two birds as they are in this case. Yeah, they're like kind of like mega geese. I don't know, probably something better than that, right? But geese are cool. We have one that is white and one that is black. You know, we have the light and the shadow, we have the night and the day, we have, you know, all manner of different polarities at play at any given time, and finding a way to balance those is the only way that we can move successfully forward, the only way that we can own every single part of ourselves. And so much of you was disavowed, Scorpio, so much of you was pushed into the dark that you didn't want to own any of it. But the problem is that leads to tension eventually, and the shadow starts to take over. And I think that the shadow has been the bit of you that's been in charge for too long, and you understood that now. So this act of getting on the back of these swans and taking the reins, it's like, no, I will own every single bit of myself. I will extend to myself the compassion that I did not experience when I was young. I will nurture myself in the way that I did not experience when I was young. And I will learn to turn around and look at what I am and love every part of it. Because there can be, you know, the brightest lights cast the darkest shadows, Scorpio. And I think that's one essential fact that you have been oblivious to your entire life. All you have ever perceived have been the shadows, and you missed your glorious light. Just didn't even factor into your consciousness. And I feel like the way that you see the world is completely changing. Now, the Three of Swords that's here with this is fascinating when it's here with the Chariot, because I'll show you in a second, but we have a woman with a pained look on her face, and she's holding her hand out, and there is a bird that's flying out of her hand. But here at her breast, where her heart would be, there is a bird-shaped hole. And it's like, it's that sense of loss, it's that sense of what is leaving. But it's the fact that it's a bird that's so very important, because it speaks of the wisdom of experience. It speaks of past experiences getting you to a point where what was this tiny little fledgling here, and it felt very big to you at the time because it was gone, you know, has grown and evolved and developed and become like this mega fucking version of something that you can stand on, and you can fucking, you can move forwards, you can go towards victory. Now, I'm not saying that the losses that you experienced when you were young, in whatever way that applies, whether that was a loss of innocence or, you know, loss of innocence, actually, I'm just going to stick with that because I feel like that's appropriate across the board for Scorpios. You know, there's that whole analogy of, you know, releasing the bird and it coming back to you. You know, if it was meant for you, it's coming back to you. And it's like that which you lost is returning to you tenfold because you are owning it, right? This was your shadow. Was it your shadow? No, this was your light. There we go, let's get it right. This was your light. It went. And all that there's been there is the knowledge that something is gone. It is the darkness, it is the shadow. You've been on a journey to go retrieve your baby chicks, and you've ended up with 2. And they're massive, and they're huge, and it's powerful, Scorpio. Core. I love this. And then here we are, King of Cups. I've often said before, it always struck me as the height of irony that Scorpio was the association with the King of Cups, and And the Queen of Pentacles was correlated with Capricorn. You know, Queen of Pentacles is all about taking care of yourself and nurturing yourself. And I have yet to meet fucking Capricorn who ever just naturally did those things. Instead, you know, they've gone quite the opposite way. And whilst I could see, you know, with the King of Cups, this idea that Scorpio was capable of feeling things to a very deep degree, there was also this disavowal of it. It's almost like you wanted to be shallower than you were. You've always wanted to be shallower than you were because it saved you from the pain of things. And the whole concept of the King of Cups is about owning every single emotion that you have and making your peace with it such that there is no risk of him being knocked off his perch here. His perch, and it's this rock throne, you know. The seas are calm. And Scorpio is the sea to me. You know, it can look beautifully flat. You look at it and, you know, maybe you could walk a mile or half a mile out and it'll only be up to your knees, and that's all okay. But you take a step too far and you are straight off the edge of a fucking shelf and you are 300 feet down, gasping for air, you know. By the same token, you literally wreck ships and devastate fucking whole communities when it comes up in a tsunami, right? That's the level of the power that resides within Scorpio. And this King of Cups is able to be here throughout all of that, whichever extreme it happens to be sitting at, in the knowledge that he will not at any point be knocked off this rock. He owns it all. And I was like, how can that be Scorpio? How can that? Well, I see now how this can be Scorpio. And as I've sat with you on this journey and I've watched what you have been doing, I see now how this is Scorpio. This is not you being born with these attributes any more than it is Capricorn being born with those attributes. It is the path that a Scorpio is, if you like, cursed to follow, to achieve all the potential that is, well, to achieve the success that the potential resides within them to achieve. And there you are. Here you are. And it's not the depiction of Scorpio as death. It's not the depiction of Scorpio as the tower. You know, that energy of throwing a grenade into a room and then walking out and just standing back and seeing what happens. It's not that energy of cutting things out, making things end for whatever reason, and usually there was a nobler reason underneath than people ever gave you credit for, ever. This is about the way that you show up in the world. All of the minor arcana is about the ways that we do things, the day-to-day activities that we engage in, and as a result then the court hierarchy comes to be those levels of of behavior, those levels of perception that we bring to bear while we are executing whatever day-to-day things we are doing. And you're here. And this is what I mean, like I feel like this is pushing towards an emergence from this chaos. And it is chaotic. But chaotic in a way that you can navigate, Scorpio, and you are singularly capable of navigating. But you're coming back to the world. And you're coming back to the world different and changed and evolved and mature. And there have been profound changes that have gone on underneath the surface for you. And the likelihood is that you would never really be able to find a way to describe the process that you have been undergoing to somebody else. Maybe a fellow Scorpio might get it. Maybe, if you're lucky, a Leo with an 8th house stellium might get it too. But the level that you have chosen to go to do this clearing out is actually not one that is open to many. And you've done it, and it's time to return. You've done it, and you've been and had a look and seen at the ways that you have not met your own basic needs, the reasons why you did not meet your own basic needs. Like, you have pushed so far out of the mental prison that you put yourself in for survival's sake a long time ago. Observation is processing, and it's like you can't unsee this anymore. Now you know that it's there. Now that you have looked at it, it has by definition changed. Now it's like quantum so I was literally just talking to Taurus about this. It's like that quantum notion of when you look at a particle, it by definition it will change into something else, right? Observation for some reason changes the nature of that thing. It knows when it's being looked at. This knows when it got looked at by you, Scorpio. And you have brought tremendous healing to yourself in the willingness and the bravery that you have exhibited in going on this journey here with this star, this card of Aquarius. And as I'm looking at this woman, as she's pointing directly up to this star, I hear that is your light. There it is. I fucking found it. It's right there. It's not about descending into the depths, although that is a talent that you have and it's a skill that you've developed and that will never leave you, and it is essential. It's absolutely essential, not just for you, but also for the collective. But you are allowing yourself now the opportunity to look up and go, there is my light. I didn't see it this whole time, but there it is. It's a card that also speaks to me about connection and the importance of connections. And you've never taken connections lightly anyway. You know, I've always said that there's sliding scale of where you sit on things. And to have the trust of a Scorpio is not an easy feat, and neither is it something that should be taken lightly. I actually got an email last week or the week before from a Scorpio who laid out everything for me. And she said, this is me being vulnerable. This is me showing my trust in you. This is what's happened. Thank you. I almost cried when I read that. It's not even funny, like I almost cried, because I know what it takes to gain the trust of a Scorpio, and it's a blessing. But I feel like that dynamic is starting to change necessarily now, Scorpio. And so it isn't just one person or two people that have your trust, and that is it. It could be more. You could be starting to open that circle up a little bit. But the most important part of it all is that you are starting to trust yourself more. As you bring all of these bits of you into alignment, you don't need to go, well, I don't trust myself because I know I do stupid things in particular circumstances. And then stop it there. Don't go any deeper. This is what you have been doing. You're going like, right, okay, but pull that out of the way. Why do I do those things? What did I have to gain from doing those things? Where did it originate? What did I think the purpose of it was? And does it align with what's actually happened? It's deep work, Scorpio. It's really, really deep work. And I love where this is going, because in August we have the Queen of Wands. Now, like I said, that's very active and very dynamic energy. It is about the here and now, and it does indicate for me a return to the here and now. Like I said, turning off that autopilot. But notice how we have both the masculine and the feminine here showing up for you. It's an increasing confidence in everything. Actually everything, Scorpio. But in yourself, first and foremost. What you have done, and what will really see it reaching its final form in August, is the balancing out of a universally applied imbalance. Right? A lot of you have been dealing with generational karma, right? And if you think about some of the things that happened to you, particularly if, like just about every Scorpio I've ever known, there were truly traumatic things that occurred in your past. You were the subject. You were kind of like the point of receipt for, just as all of the generations before you for a long time, for the concentrated shadow that has been coming down through your line. And it's like every generation added to it. It started off with something slightly corrupted, but you know, like rot spreads in a barrel of apples, it's kind of gone out to everything and everyone who is connected to that line. But this tells me that it stops with you, Scorpio. And that is a profound achievement. It takes immeasurable strength and bravery to do what you are doing, and to do what seems to be coming up now for you as an end result. It's karma and consequences, for sure. But I do feel like you are seeing, and that I feel like this is a really important part of the process, I do believe that you are seeing your experiences differently now. And this is part of what is heralding the change in you not needing to defend yourself in the here and now all the time. Be guarded, you know, be engaging in this energetically expensive activity of laying out your web, being on guard 24/7. Oh, there's a little strand of it tweaked over there. Somebody's coming close to the web. Now I need to think about all the different directions in which they could take to reach the middle before I either eat them or they eat me. Oh, there's another one over there. Oh, there's one down here. There's one up there. Maybe there is stuff, you know, maybe your fucking web is sitting in a bit of a time fucking distortion, and you can feel future echoes of fucking strand pulling somewhere, and you're like, well shit, in 6 months this is going to hit me here and I need to be ready for that. But there's also something pulling you from the past as well, you know. Scorpio, it's a fucking miracle in and of itself that you are here and you exist. It's a miracle for all of us that humans exist at all, and every single one individual human exists. But this is particularly appropriate for you, Scorpio. It is a miracle that you exist right now. It is a testament to the power of your subconscious, that it has put in all of these coping mechanisms for you. But it is a testament to your consciousness that you now understand that that needs to go, that is restrictive, and that actually what you want is the peace now, more than anything else. You're coming back big time, coming out of the fog, out of the chaos, re-emerging, different, changed, for sure, but more present than you have ever been in your life. You have excised demons from yourself. You have exorcised ghosts from your psyche. It feels like a massive cleanup operation that you've been engaged with here, and one that you were always destined to carry out. The destiny of a Scorpio is in large part characterized by struggle, characterized by pain, characterized by wounding. But if you can change the narrative on that, If you can exercise those demons, if you can exercise those ghosts and let all of that go, then you become like death itself and you clear out everything. And you're creating a space which the universe is rushing to fill with new things, new experiences that are at a vibrational level that you are now ready to receive, right? It's kind of like, instead of you creating a web, you're kind of ambling to the side of a web and grabbing hold of a strand and going, God, universe, source, whatever it is, like, here is the point at which I am vibrating. Like, notice, like, I'm pulling on this string here. And the universe goes, oh, look at that. We've got loads of space over there. We've got a particular vibration going on. Let's throw some of that stuff. Some of that stuff that we've been holding back for Scorpio. They're ready for it now. Let's give it to them. I'm going to go over to Vimeo now. And I'm going to have a look at some other stuff. But Scorpio, this is a really good month for you. I think it's really, really good. I think that this is a month whereby at the end of the month, even if nothing changes outside of you, there's just a willingness to engage. There's a joy in being back. I love it. I'm here for it all day long. So, if you want to join me over at Vimeo, first link in the description. If not, don't worry. But know that I am so proud of you and what you've done. This is... I'm doing a little happy dance. But quietly, and obviously not here in front of you. I don't want to draw attention to it. Right? Know that I love you all very, very much. And I will see you soon.